Rayhaan has been releasing some of the best new cologne fragrances on the market. But I'm here to tell you, not all of them are cleared for takeoff. After visiting Space Center Houston 2 weeks ago, I realized that for every moon landing success in the house, there's a failure to launch that should have never left the hangar. Today, I'm going to be ranking my entire Rayhaan collection in 4 tiers, from my biggest regrets to my absolute favorites. And some of these really fizzled out. So let's start at the bottom. Tier 4 is the failure to launch tier. These are the ones that barely made it out of the hangar. And starting at the very bottom, we have Rayhaan Crimson. And this is a clone of Creed Centaurus. This one is a massive engine failure. And to be honest, I don't really like the original Creed Centaurus, so this one's just kind of a miss for me, although it is a pretty good clone of that. And this combines cinnamon, tobacco, and vanilla. And those are 3 of my favorite fragrance notes. So what went wrong with this one? Well, somehow this is so thick and heavy that it's almost suffocating. It's a problem so big that even Houston isn't equipped to deal with it. Houston? We've got a problem. This opens with a fiery burst of cinnamon, cardamom, and pink pepper. The mid is an earthy floral core featuring patchouli and heliotrope. The dry down is a warm, sweet, and resinous finish of vanilla, tonka bean, and benzoin. And I just have to say, this is my ranking and my opinion. You may absolutely love this fragrance, and many people do. It actually has good reviews online, and it is very close to the original fragrance. So this is a date night, special occasion type of fragrance. And I highly recommend you sample this one before you buy it, even if the notes I described sound delightful. And this one sounded great on paper, but immediately experienced a catastrophic loss of power. And at number 7, we have the internet darling of the group. And the hype train is full speed ahead on this one. This is Rayhaan Terra, and it's a clone of Amouage Outlands. And this is a high quality clone that smells very close to the original. So if you like Amouage Outlands, you're probably gonna like this. I'm just not that crazy about this fragrance DNA type. This is another spicy vanilla fragrance. And it's so spicy that for me, it can quickly become cloying and actually feel like it's kind of sucking all the oxygen out of the room. So Rayhaan has been on a bit of a roll lately, but they kind of lost me a little bit with Terra. This one's challenging, and it's probably going to be for people who are looking for something that's more resinous, almost gothic incense type of fragrance. To me, this leans too closely to a dusty church vibe. The frankincense they use can remind you of the incense they burn in some churches. This fragrance begins with a sharp burst of bergamot, lemon, and intense spice from cardamom and Sichuan pepper with the resinous bite of elemi. As it develops, it becomes a dense, aromatic blend. Notable notes include saffron, patchouli, cumin, and wormwood. The base is a mix of frankincense, oud, amber, and birch, softened by sweetness from vanilla and maltol. So I wore this one again to confirm my feelings about it. And this one lasts a long time, which is not great if, like me, you don't really enjoy the scent that much. But like I said, this one has its fans. And I bet many of you thought this was going to be in first place because that's what so many people online are saying. But I can only give you my honest opinion. And Terra literally means earth, so that lets you know how far into space this one got. And next up is tier 3. I'm calling this tier We Have Liftoff. And these are good fragrances that I recommend. And in 6th place, we have Tropical Vibe. And this is a very nice clone of Lorenzo Pizzaglia's Summer Hammer. And this one is a very fruity fragrance that pretty much smells like a Capri Sun exploded in a pressurized cabin. So this is a beautiful tropical fruit fragrance, and it smells great. But smelling like a fruit salad, gorgeous as it might be, is not going to get you to the moon. Even though this is masterfully crafted, do you really want to smell like a tropical fruit platter? This is a fresh, fun, and playful fragrance, but it's not meant to be your signature scent. This is one you can wear to the beach, spray it on out of the shower to smell extra clean, spray it as a room freshener or on your sheets, something like that. Know what you're getting, and you're going to enjoy this one. Off the top, you get a bright, juicy burst of mango, pineapple, and zesty bergamot. As the initial notes settle, the heart reveals white florals, a refreshing sea breeze accord, and creamy coconut. The scent finishes with a warm base of amber, sandalwood, musk, and vetiver. This anchors the fragrance and gives it a creamy, slightly salty finish. Do you wear sandals in the winter? With socks if it's really cold? Yeah, you've got that tropical vibe. So this one gets us off the launch pad. I like it, it's enjoyable to wear, but it's not changing the mission. And in 5th place, we have the autopilot of the group. This is a safe, sweet JPG Ultra Male clone. This is Rayhaan's Lion. And this is a fresh, fruity, slightly spicy vanilla fragrance that's very mass appealing, and it's one of the safer blind buys if you're one of those people who likes to live on the edge. This is a really nice fragrance and I highly recommend it, especially if you don't have the original JPG fragrance in your collection. This is about as close as you're going to get to Ultramall. Now, as much as I like Rayhaan Lion, I do slightly prefer Armaf Odyssey Revolution as an Ultramall clone, because they've done a slight twist on the fragrance, and to me it just makes it a little bit more interesting. Now, some people will recommend Offnon 9 PM as a replacement, but for me it's my least favorite of the three because I think it just leans a little bit more synthetic than the other two. Lion opens with a refreshing burst of pear, lavender, mint, and bergamot. As it settles, there's a spicy core of cinnamon, clary sage, and cumin that adds a masculine warmth to balance the initial sweetness. The base is a rich blend of vanilla, amber, patchouli, and cedar. And this is an excellent night out or clubbing fragrance because it projects across the room. And it lasts 8+ hours on the skin, which is far more time than I ever want to spend in an actual nightclub. Also, it outperforms current JPG Ultramall batches. We have liftoff. This is dependable and it gets the job done, so this is where it's going to stay. So now we're halfway through the list and the fragrances are already really solid. But the ones at the top are out of this world. Stick around, we've got some surprise picks ahead. Now we're on to tier 2. This is the elite tier. I call this tier Orbit Achieved. And these are the fragrances that reach the stars. And taking the most unique flight path here, in 4th place we have Rayhaan Jungle Vibe. And this is a clone of Dry Van Notten's Santal Greenery. And I may never know what Dry Van Notten smells like, because I only enjoy the finer things in life. You know, fragrances under $30, they might burn your skin, but they still get you compliments. Yep, that'll do it. And I promised myself I wouldn't bring up this smelling like the Jolly Green Giant's bathwater again.
Ew!
But here we are. And this is a really fun, playful green fragrance. It smells like a cabbage had a baby with an artichoke. A cabbage-choke? It may sound weird, but that dewy botanical fig and violet leaf are actually stunning. The opening is a bright grapefruit and bergamot that provides an energizing citrus lift, but a prominent fig note steals the show. Moving into the heart, a green botanical core featuring fig leaf, violet leaf, and oak moss creates a dewy, earthy jungle sensation. The base is a smooth, warm finish of white musk, patchouli, and creamy sandalwood that keeps this from smelling like a salad. And don't let the weird bottle fool you. This may look like a joke fragrance, but I promise you it's actually a stunner. And this has pretty decent performance. You'll get 4 to 6 hours on this, which is pretty typical for a fragrance of this type. And this is the green fragrance that I didn't know I needed in my life. Now, I never want to tell you to go out and blind buy something, but try to get a sample on Etsy or something like that. If you do get to try it, make sure to let me know in the comments what you think about it. Jungle Vibe makes it all the way to stable orbit. It's unique, it's weird, and it's absolutely mission approved. In 3rd place and rounding out this elite tier is Rayhaan's Pacific Aura, and that's a very nice clone of Louis Vuitton's Pacific Chill. Do you remember Tang? Astronauts love that stuff, and this is like the Tang of the fragrance world. Tang wasn't trying to be orange juice, and this isn't trying to be niche, but they're both really fun for what they actually are. So this is a playful citrus and mint fragrance, and it's very unique. It's nice to wear on a hot day, and it can even be worn to the gym. And the performance on this is going to be pretty much like the OG, but maybe slightly better, like 4 to 6 hours on the skin. So my wife really loves Pacific Chill, and she's always stealing this bottle from me. So this is my consolation prize. And I don't mind because it's a really nice fragrance, it's very close to the original, and yet it saves you hundreds of dollars. Pacific Aura kicks off with a vibrant and zesty burst of mint, citron, mandarin, bergamot, and black currant. The heart introduces a more sophisticated, slightly earthy blend of basil, rose, and carrot seed. It settles into a warm, airy, and subtly fresh sweet finish featuring amber, fig, and ambroxan. When you buy Pacific Chill, you're paying a huge premium for that name. This fragrance costs a lot less money, and most people on skin would not be able to tell the difference, even up close. Now, this is not as nuanced or niche as the original LV fragrance, but it's really damn good, especially considering the price. And I'm not saying you should open the airlock and boot LV into space, but let's just say that only one of these fragrances is mission approved. This is bright, refreshing, and easy to wear, especially in warm weather. I highly recommend you check it out. And finally, we have Tier 1, And this is what I call the moon landing tier. These are the fragrances that break new ground and do what I was beginning to think was impossible. In second place, we're pushing the thrusters to the limits with this one. This is Rayhaan's Valhalla. This is a clone of By Kilian's Angel Share Paradise. This is a gorgeous raspberry and cognac fragrance. If Pacific Aura was the Tang of fragrances, then this is the celebratory bottle of cognac that the astronauts open at mission success. And this is a heavy-hitting clone. It's a fruitier, more masculine take on that Angel Share Paradise DNA. Imagine a raspberry cheesecake next to a glass of cognac. That's the scent profile. It's rich and gourmand. So some people complain that this has a cherry cough syrup vibe in the opening. And I don't get that at all. But I would say if you want something like a Lataffa Camera, but less sticky sweet, then this one is mission critical upgrade.
Permission granted.
The opening is an intoxicating blast of cognac liquor and raspberry. As it settles, a heart of tonka bean, oak moss, and Bulgarian rose adds a creamy, earthy depth that keeps the sweetness from going off the rails. The base is a warm, woody landing of oak, praline, and sandalwood. This is what gives it that beast mode longevity that lingers for 12 hours on clothes. So Angel Share Paradise will set you back about $250. But this one can be picked up for around $40. And that's pretty much the price of a decent lunch. This one's a no-brainer. This raspberry and cognac DNA is a masterpiece. It projects all the way back to the Houston Space Center. This is a beast mode fragrance and it almost took first place. And we're officially on the dark side of the moon territory. Stick around because number one is about to break the sound barrier. In first place, the Lunar Lander. This is Rayhaan Aquatica, and this is a clone of Creed's Virgin Island Water. So I love the original fragrance, but it doesn't last. And until now, there hasn't been a really good clone of it. Now don't get me wrong, I have a lot of fragrances with a similar scent profile, but nothing that I was really over the moon for. So this is a juicy lime and creamy coconut fragrance. And while the original Creed runs out of fuel after 3 hours, this one stays in orbit for 6 to 8 hours. This kicks off with a sharp burst of lime, coconut milk, bergamot, and mandarin. It's a loud, zesty launch that hits you immediately. The heart introduces a tropical, floral atmosphere with sugarcane, hibiscus, jasmine, and gardenia. It settles into a smooth, boozy finish featuring white rum, tonka bean, musk, and patchouli. Given the price and performance, it's really hard to recommend the original Creed fragrance. And on skin, most people would not be able to tell the difference between this and the OG, except for this one actually has a projection to be noticed. Now this is not as silky smooth as the original Creed fragrance, but it's 90% of the way there and it really packs a punch that the original doesn't. Creed is the luxury option, but Rayhaan is the smart option. And this is the perfect moon landing fragrance, the one that delivers where the original falls short. If you only launch one mission, make it this one. So that's the flight log for my Rayhaan collection. And my trip to Space Center taught me that not every mission is a success. And that's especially true when it comes to clone fragrances. Do you think I'm crazy for grounding Crimson and Terra? Let me know down in the comments. And which of these would you put in your top 3? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.